This video will guide you through the unique and captivating features of Cuba, a country known for its deep historical roots, lively culture, and breathtaking scenery. For instance, did you know that Fidel Castro survived more than 600 assassination attempts, involving everything from explosive cigars to mafia plots? And for many years, Christmas was actually banned in Cuba. How has this island nation managed to navigate such intense challenges while preserving its rich traditions and resilience? Let's dive into Cuba, which remains unknown to most of the world. Fidel Castro's survival through over 600 assassination attempts, many backed by the CIA and anti-Castro groups, remains one of the most astounding stories in modern history. These attempts, carried out under the CIA's infamous Operation Mongoose, included everything from exploding cigars to diving suits laced with poison and even mafia-hired hitmen. But how did Castro manage to escape all of these dangerous plots? His survival wasn't just about luck. It was a combination of tight personal security, the sharp eyes of Cuban intelligence, and careful attention to his daily routines. Most of the assassination plots spanned decades, especially during the intense rivalry of the Cold War. The United States was eager to eliminate Castro due to his close ties with the Soviet Union. Interestingly, Castro often mocked these assassination attempts, once joking that if surviving them were an Olympic event, he'd have won a gold medal. He turned these countless attempts into a symbol of his strength and defiance against U.S. intervention. Investigations such as the U.S. Senate's Church Committee in the year 1975 uncovered the sheer extent of the CIA's mission to eliminate him. And for anyone looking for more details on these bizarre plots, documentaries like 638 Ways to Kill Castro provide further insight into the absurdity of these failed missions. It's safe to say that Castro's story isn't just one of political power, but of legendary resilience against countless threats to his life. So what do you think? Does Castro's survival of such extreme efforts shape how you view his legacy? Let us know in the comments below. Next, diving into a lesser-known aspect that shapes the country's societal fabric, the presence of transactional relationships in Cuba. Cuban women are celebrated worldwide for their beauty, reflecting the nation's unique blend of ethnicities and rich history. This diversity gives rise to a captivating mix of skin tones from olive to deep brown and eye colors ranging from dark brown to striking blue. But how does this cultural beauty tie into the realities of the country's hidden industry of personal services? The roots of Cuba's diverse population go back to the colonial period when Europeans brought enslaved Africans to the island, creating a racial mix that continues to define the Cuban identity today. However, behind the glamour of Cuban beauty lies a struggle for many women in an economy where transactional work, or generismo as it's locally known, has flourished, especially following the economic crisis of the 90s. While Cuban women are praised for their warm skin tones, silky dark hair, and strong presence in their communities, a considerable number have had to turn to offering companionship as a means of survival. The lack of economic opportunities, particularly for women, has contributed to this issue. Many are drawn into the trade not only by local demand but by an increasing number of foreign tourists seeking an illicit part of Cuba's experience. In Havana and other popular cities, it's estimated that thousands of women work in this underground industry, making a stark contrast with the image often painted of the island paradise. What makes the situation even more complex is that offering companionship in Cuba is technically illegal, yet largely tolerated by local authorities, especially when it brings in foreign currency. Many of these women charge around $50 for their services, although the prices can fluctuate depending on various factors. For a country where the average monthly salary hovers around $40, it's not hard to see why so many feel forced into this life. But it's not just about the numbers or the money, it's also about the deeper social fabric. Cuban women are known for their resilience, balancing family responsibilities while often being the backbone of their communities. Yet the harsh economic realities have pushed many into compromising situations, highlighting the disparity between their natural beauty and the challenges they face. So how do we reconcile the image of Cuba as a cultural hub of beauty and fashion with the stark reality of transactional relationships on the rise? Can the government's efforts to address economic instability ever change the fate of these women? And more importantly, what does this say about the broader social landscape of Cuba? Let's explore these questions as we dive deeper into the complex and, at times, conflicting aspects of Cuban society. Before we continue, I have a special 10-second request for all of you listening. If you can help me in any way, just press the notification bell and hit that subscribe button. It means the world. It really supports this channel. And if you do that for me, I promise my team and I will do everything we can to make this show even better for you. Deal? Cuba is well known as a top destination for travelers seeking intimate services, but what is driving this phenomenon? The country's challenging economic situation has pushed many women into offering companionship services as a way to survive. However, it's important to understand that the vast majority of Cuban women are not involved in this industry. Most work regular jobs to support their families, reflecting the broader economic difficulties many citizens face. The rise in these services is often linked to Cuba's economic hardships. Some point to the deep-rooted financial struggles caused by the long-standing U.S. embargo and the collapse of the Soviet Union, Cuba's once major economic partner. These events severely limited the country's access to international markets and resources, leading to widespread poverty and pushing some women into providing companionship as a means to get by. Others believe that the cultural allure and beauty of Cuban women play a significant role in this rising demand. Despite these services being illegal in Cuba, they still exist in certain areas, fueled by foreign tourists seeking such encounters. This issue is far more complex than it appears, driven by both economic desperation and external demand. Cuba's government has been making efforts to address the country's financial challenges, focusing on industries like tourism, biotechnology, and renewable energy. These sectors are seen as potential avenues for diversifying the economy and reducing reliance on remittances from Cuban relatives living abroad. Reforms have also been introduced to stimulate private businesses and attract foreign investments. Small enterprises and cooperatives are growing, offering some hope for economic recovery. Still, many Cubans continue to face financial hardship, relying on the strength of their families and their own resilience to persevere. In the face of these difficulties, the Cuban people have shown incredible determination. Their ability to adapt and survive under such circumstances speaks volumes about their resourcefulness, even as some turn to extreme measures to make ends meet. So, is the rise of companionship services in Cuba a reflection of desperation, or is it tied to deeper cultural factors? Either way, it's clear that the country's economy plays a central role in shaping this reality. In Cuba, a girl's 15th birthday isn't just any celebration, it's a profound cultural milestone known as the quinceañera. This coming-of-age ceremony marks a young girl's transition from childhood to womanhood, deeply rooted in Cuban tradition. The quinceañera is an extravagant affair where the young woman, dressed in an elegant gown, usually in white or soft pastel shades to symbolize purity, steps into a new chapter of life. The celebration begins with a Catholic Mass, emphasizing the spiritual significance of faith. After the religious ceremony, a lively reception follows, where Cuban music and dance take center stage. One of the most symbolic rituals is the shoe exchange, where a key male figure, often the father, replaces her flat shoes with high heels, representing her newfound status as a woman. This moment is followed by the last doll ritual, symbolizing the end of her childhood. The quinceañera isn't just about the young woman, it's a family and community event. Families often save for years to host this event in lavish venues with flowers, balloons, and plenty of traditional flair. Friends and family join in the celebration, enjoying the traditional dances, including the emotional first dance with the father. Through these rituals and celebrations, the entire community comes together, ensuring that this moment is remembered for a lifetime. Curious to learn more about the lesser-known secrets of Cuba that often go untold? Be sure to check out our previous video, where we uncover even more fascinating insights about this remarkable country. Cuba is a country where history, culture, and traditions merge into a fascinating blend of African, Spanish, and indigenous influences. This rich cultural fusion shapes every aspect of Cuban life, from music and dance to art and cuisine. But how did this unique cultural identity come to be? One of the most striking examples of this blend is Cuban music and dance, where traditional African rhythms seamlessly mix with the Spanish melodies introduced during colonial times. Have you ever wondered why Cuban beats feel so alive and soulful? The strong African roots are a big part of it, especially in genres like rumba and son, which have captivated global audiences for decades. Spanish culture also made a lasting impact on Cuba. The Spanish language, Catholicism, and stunning architecture that you see across Havana's old town all trace back to the colonial period. But did you know that indigenous cultures also played a role, though their presence has been overshadowed by colonization? Small contributions, especially in culinary techniques, add another layer of depth to Cuba's cultural tapestry. Religion in Cuba provides another fascinating window into its blended identity. Santeria, a religion that merges Catholicism with African spiritual beliefs, is widely practiced on the island. It's a powerful symbol of Cuba's cultural adaptability, combining African gods with Christian saints in a unique spiritual practice. Cuban art is yet another vibrant expression of this fusion. From traditional crafts to cutting-edge contemporary pieces, Cuban artists draw from their diverse heritage to tell stories of identity, history, and social change. And if you dive into Cuban literature, you'll find the same blend of perspectives, and writers exploring themes of belonging, resilience, and transformation, all through the lens of a culturally rich island nation. In every corner of Cuban life, you see this beautiful fusion, a culture that's resilient, adaptive, and endlessly creative. So what part of Cuba's cultural blend resonates with you the most? Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the hidden side of Cuba's artistic soul. Did you know that for decades Christmas was banned in Cuba? After the revolution, the Cuban government aimed to eliminate religious festivities, replacing them with political activities. As a result, Christmas celebrations were actually moved to July, and December 25th became just another regular working day. It wasn't until 1998, after a visit from Pope John Paul II, that Christmas finally reinstated as a holiday in Cuba. While some restrictions still linger, Cubans can once again enjoy celebrating this important day. In Cuba, there's a fascinating New Year's Eve tradition called a Nayo Viejo or Munaye Kodie Año Viejo. Have you ever heard of it? It's a unique way Cubans say goodbye to the old year and welcome the new one. The tradition involves burning effigies, often made from old clothes and flammable materials, symbolizing the past year, including its hardships and challenges. Families and friends gather at midnight to set these munaycas on fire, often alongside fireworks and cheers, as a way to clear away negative energy and make room for better fortune in the year ahead. But that's not all. Some people even personalize their dolls, adding significant events or writing down their regrets and frustrations, attaching them to the munayco before burning them. It becomes a powerful moment of release, almost like a fresh start. Though rooted in both indigenous and colonial influences, this practice speaks volumes about the Cuban spirit of resilience and hope. And while it's still widely celebrated in rural areas, it's less common in the bigger cities today. Cuba's New Year celebrations don't end there. Another popular custom is throwing water out of windows to wash away bad luck. And let's not forget the tradition of eating 12 grapes at midnight, each one representing a wish for the upcoming year. Would you try any of these traditions? Let us know in the comments below. Cuba is a land of rich cultural diversity, shaped by African, Spanish, and indigenous influences, and this vibrant mix is reflected even in the gestures Cubans use every day. Did you know that body language in Cuba tells a whole story? One of the most distinctive gestures is the chin flick. This simple motion, where someone flicks their fingers underneath their chin, is used to show indifference or even dismissal. It's fascinating how non-verbal communication can say so much, right? Another gesture that might surprise you is the use of lips to point. This is very common across the Caribbean, and in Cuba, it's a subtle way to direct attention or give instructions without using words. Have you ever seen someone discreetly point with their lips? But there's more. If you ever see a Cuban pull the skin between their thumb and index finger, they're signaling frustration or stress. It's a gesture born from daily challenges and a creative way of expressing emotions without saying a word. On the lighter side, a cupped hand held palm upward means the person is confused or asking for clarification. And if you see a finger wagging side to side, don't worry, it's usually playful disapproval, almost like a teasing no. Success and affirmation in Cuba often come in the form of a quick V sign, similar to what many of us recognize. And yes, the familiar thumbs-up gesture is used just as often to say everything's great. You might also notice that blowing kisses isn't reserved for romantic moments. In Cuba, it's a common way to show affection to friends and family, bringing warmth and connection into everyday life. These gestures have evolved, deeply connected to Cuba's unique socio-political history and geographic isolation. They bring a sense of humor, warmth, and subtlety to Cuban interactions, proving that sometimes actions do speak louder than words. What do you think? Could you master these nonverbal cues? Cuba is synonymous with cigars, and the heart of this tradition lies in the stunning Vanales Valley, a region that spans over 132 square kilometers. Since being declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site back in the year 1990, this vast and picturesque valley has served as Cuba's largest tobacco growing area. The tobacco harvested here, prized for its bold aroma and spicy flavor, has made Cuban cigars synonymous with luxury and status. But did you know that crafting these cigars is more than just a job? It's a time-honored art form? This tradition was perfected in the year 1960s when Fidel Castro's bodyguard, Ban Veneto Chico Perez, discovered the unique style of cigar maker Eduardo Rira. Recognizing Rira's talent, Castro assembled a team of elite rollers, including Rira himself, to produce these iconic cigars in a small factory in Havana. Today, the Habanos brand continues to represent the pinnacle of cigar craftsmanship. Each box can fetch thousands of dollars, and for good reason. Each cigar goes through approximately 500 manual steps, from planting the seed to the final roll. This attention to detail ensures that Habanos cigars are unrivaled in quality. Habanos, the exclusive distributor of Cuban cigars, ships these premium products to over 150 countries worldwide. Every year, Havana hosts a spectacular 5-day cigar festival that draws enthusiasts from over 70 countries. Attendees get the chance to sample prestigious brands like Cohiba, Partagas, Joyo de Monterrey, and Romeo y Julieta. The festival also offers tours of the tobacco farms in Pinar del Rio, live demonstrations by master rollers, and even the chance to roll your very own cigar. However, there's another side to Cuba's cigar market. Beneath the surface, a thriving black market offers cheaper, smuggled cigars. Despite government efforts to crack down on this illegal trade, it continues to pose a challenge to the legitimate industry. So, what's your take on Cuban cigars? Have you ever tried one? Or maybe you've even visited a tobacco farm yourself? Let us know your experiences and thoughts in the comments below. Cuba is a country bursting with vibrant landscapes that promise an unforgettable experience. Have you ever wondered what it's like to stroll along pristine white sand beaches while the crystal-clear waters of the Caribbean kiss your feet? From the serene coastline to the dramatic heights of its lush mountain ranges, Cuba's natural beauty is truly one of a kind. Whether you're relaxing under the sun on the beach or exploring the breathtaking Sierra Maestra or Sierra del Rosario Mountains, there's something for everyone. Adventure seekers will be thrilled to know that these mountains offer some incredible opportunities for hiking, climbing, and wildlife observation. Now let's talk about Havana. The capital city's historic center, known as La Habana Vieja, is not just a vibrant cultural hub but also a designated UNESCO World Heritage Site. Walking through the streets here feels like stepping into a time capsule. And just a short distance away, the famous Malecon, a seaside promenade, offers sweeping views of the ocean. It's the perfect place to soak in the atmosphere of this lively city. Venturing west, you'll find yourself in the Vinales Valley, located in Pinar del Rio province. This region is renowned for its striking geological formations known as mogotes and is home to some of the world's finest tobacco plantations. If you're curious about Cuba's rural life, this is where you'll find it in its purest form. The Vinales Valley offers a true immersion into the island's countryside, where you can witness centuries-old traditions still practiced today. But Cuba's beauty isn't just found above ground. The island is surrounded by some of the healthiest coral reefs in the Caribbean, brimming with diverse marine life. These underwater ecosystems, along with Cuba's rich biodiversity on land, are protected by national parks and reserves, which play a crucial role in maintaining the country's environmental balance. Cuba's commitment to preserving its natural wonders goes hand in hand with its dedication to sustainable tourism. The government has taken significant steps to ensure that visitors can explore the island's beauty while keeping their environmental impact to a minimum. From eco-friendly lodges to guided nature tours, Cuba offers a range of responsible travel options that let you connect with its stunning landscapes while contributing to their preservation. So what are you waiting for? Discover the untold side of Cuba, a place where history, nature, and conservation come together in perfect harmony. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support means a lot to us. Click on the video that appears on your screen right now. I'm sure you'll love this content. Comment below about the next country you'd like to see featured on our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.